Hello. Today I invited David Martin, Mr. David Martin from England. I would like to ask about the life in Japan and his activity. Hello,
Hello,
David.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Today I would like to first I'd like you to introduce yourself.
My name's David Martin, as you said. I'm nearly 45 years old. I've been living in Japan for 20 years, almost 20 years. I own an English school in Yonago, and we have 5 teachers working there. And now I live in Daisen, in Hoki town. And I really like living in Japan.
Oh, so you almost half your life in Japan.
Yeah, almost half my life. Yeah. So I'm now
Close to-
half Japanese now.
Yeah. Excuse me to ask again
No problem.
about the history of why did you choose Japan to come to Japan?
So originally I came to visit a friend, but when I was younger I had a very deep interest in Japanese culture. I was very interested in Miura Anjin and his story and his life. And there was a TV show in England about his life. And so I was very interested in culture and wanted to come and see for myself. So when I had the opportunity to visit my friend, I could satisfy my desire to visit Japan.
As you know, Japan was very, very interested in experiments, influence. And we got very strong influence from England, United Kingdom, at the end of the Edo area, and we introduced the locomotive.
Right, the steam engine.
And industrial revolution.
Right.
And
I think the government system is also based on the English
yes.
system.
And many people went to England, learned some Moniogai or
Diplomats.
Yeah.
They went to learn
Yeah.
about the systems in Europe. So
yes.
I think the medical system came from Germany, right? And then the government system from the UK. So they learned many things from different European countries. They chose the best parts of each.
Recently, royal family and the prince and the princess learned in the Oxford, I think, and both royal family are very familiar each other
Yes, yes.
and invited each other
Right, yes.
sometimes. So now there will a kind of more strong friendship with England and Japan, especially even in the area of political area.
Yeah, England and Japan have a very long history together of relationship. More than 150 years we've had a diplomatic connection.
And when you came to Japan, you have something very strong culture shock or something difference of the customs you felt. Do you have any impression?
The main thing for me was the temperature in the summer.
Yeah.
I'm from England, and even in the summer it's usually quite cool. So when I first arrived in Japan and I exited the airport, the heat hit me like a wave. So it was very difficult to get used to the summers here. And the food was a little strange for me at first, but I like Japanese food, so I got used to it.
How about sashimi? Raw fish is okay?
Yeah, I
Sashimi is
loved
okay?
it. I loved sashimi from the beginning. I really like raw fish. But yeah, of course, many people don't
Yeah.
like raw fish. But the only thing I don't like in Japan is natto. I
Natto, yeah.
still cannot eat natto. Has a very bad smell.
udon or ramen? How about that?
Yeah, I love all types of noodles.
Noodles,
I really like soba as well.
Soba also.
Buckwheat noodles.
I prefer ramen rather than soba. Maybe soba is healthier than ramen. Ramen is more oily. That's not bad.
Oily.
I have.
Yesterday I had ramen, very good.
Ramen is good. Yeah, I like it very much. Yeah. And I just heard that your wife is
Italian, yes.
So you usually you are at your home. You eat Spanish.
Italian.
Food. Italian. Spaghetti. It's spaghetti, mainly spaghetti or what?
We eat all kinds of food. We often eat Japanese food, but yeah, we have Italian food sometimes. She's very good at making pizza and homemade pasta, fresh pasta. She's a very good cook.
So she makes the pasta herself?
By herself, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very good at making pasta.
Japanese wife don't make udon at home.
Yeah, it's very easy to buy from the supermarket, but I think she enjoys having fresh pasta. Maybe her mother and grandmother influenced her, so it's kind of tradition to make homemade pasta.
So you are fortunate enough to go because you eat Japanese food and maybe England food and Spanish food, Italian food. You are very lucky.
Yeah, very lucky. But she's also a great cook, so I'm very lucky. Occasionally, I cook as well. She says my food is good, but maybe she's just gomazuri.
I think the people who love the nature and to live in the local areas, most of the people want to also cook by themselves.
Yeah, we also like to buy local vegetables. Whenever we can, we always go to the farmers market and buy fresh vegetables and grown organically.
How about fruits? The 20世紀梨.
The pear? Yeah, I really like
food, the fruits.
The fruit, yeah, it's very, very delicious. Very good, very tasty.
I interviewed this morning, also he's a English person. He said the cheese in Japan is very expensive, so...
Yeah, he's right. Cheese is very expensive. But I think recently Japan did a trade deal with the EU. So hopefully, in the near future, there'll be more imported cheese and maybe the price will become cheaper.
But they said it'll take 10 or 20 minutes to go down to the custom zero.
Zero, yeah. So I have to keep waiting. Yeah. But yeah, cheese is one of the things I miss the most.
Another 20 years to get the cheese.
The lack of... When I first came here, it was very difficult to get any kind of cheese. Recently there's a lot of cheese, but as you said, it's expensive. But I love cheese. It's one of my favorite foods.
And I heard that you are doing some activity in the local area to activate this local area to some plan to do some festival like England and beer festa like that.
Yeah, that's right. I organize a beer festival, craft beer festival. So only very high quality, good tasting beer. With the local brewery here, which is Daisen G Beer, and also Hoki Town. And we hold that once a year in Masumizu, in the ski slope in Mount Daisen. This year would have been the 10th year, but because of the coronavirus, we cancelled the event this year. Hopefully, next year or the year after, we're not sure the next event. But yeah, beer is one of my passions. I like drinking a good beer, so I wanted to promote high quality beer in this area, and also I wanted people to enjoy drinking in nature, surrounded by beautiful trees and forests. So I thought I would mix the two of them together, so beer and nature together. So I have a beer festival in a mountain.
I heard that GB got the international prize or big prize.
Yeah, they won an international prize from the World Beer Awards in 2011. They got a prize for their Weizen beer.
I was very surprised because Japan are not the country of beer. Maybe beer is drink in Japan. The history is 50 years or so, less than 100 years. But in Europe, the history of beer is several hundred years. So
yeah, thousands
still,
of years.
Yeah, thousands years. So still, Japan got the international best prize. I was very surprised, but also I was very, very proud of that because that's in Yonago, the Daisen.
Yes, right. Yes, yeah, it was a big achievement, and then that beer became famous all around the world. I think. Yeah, Japanese beer is very good. I think the history is about 150 years. The original brewery was Spring Valley Brewery. This was the original Japanese brewery, and it was very good from the start. I think Japanese people always put a lot of passion into what they make, so you can taste that in the beer as well. But whatever, as you mentioned before about whiskey and wine, recently these Japanese-made spirits or drinks have become very popular all around the world.
Good job, I think. Yeah, we're popular, and I thought that you established the a non-profit organization. That's special for what kind of activity?
This beer festival, we don't make any profit. It's just for the beer festival.
Just for special for beer festival.
Right. Yeah. So it's not. It's just about our passion. We are not doing it to make money. It's just to promote Japanese beer. 2 or 3 years ago, I invited a beer maker from my hometown as well.
Oh yeah.
So we invited a beer maker from Coventry, and they came over, and also we introduced Coventry craft beer to this area. So we every year we get brewers from all around Japan. So from the north of Japan to the south, we try to get new brewers to come every year. Generally, people only have access to big breweries' beer, but we want people to try local craft beer, artisan beer.
Many craft beers in Japan nowadays.
Yeah, there's a boom. There's a kind of second boom now. There's a big boom.
So your festival has become very famous.
Yeah, I hope it has a good reputation. People come from all around the country to visit that.
Other countries.
Some people come from other countries. We've had guests from England, from South Korea. People,
also German.
From all around the world, people have visited. So it became very popular. So usually we have around. It's over 2 days. So we have a Saturday and a Sunday, and maybe around 3,000 to 5,000 people attend that event over the course of the weekend.
English people like beer and they drink at the pub.
Yeah, so that was another of my hopes. Is we always have a beer garden. Usually pubs have a beer garden. So especially when it's nice weather, we like to sit in the garden and drink beer. So that was the kind of image I was trying to make for the beer festival as well. I wanted people to sit outside and enjoy the taste of good beer, but surrounded by nature and the environment. I think it's a very good combination.
Besides about the festival, as a private, you have any other some hobby or just a private time? How do you spend?
I have many hobbies. I in the winter I love snowboarding, and also I like swimming. So I'm a member of the local sports club. Recently I've been very interested in carpentry. So I've been
to build yourself.
I like I like repairing my house, and I like building things. So that's one of my recent hobbies. But I love reading as well. I read a lot.
What kind of?
All kinds of books. Recently, I'm reading a book about I forget the author's name. Japanese author Inazo. He wrote about the samurai.
Oh yes.
Samurai.
The famous samurai Seishin.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm reading that. Can you remember his name? Is it Inazo something? I forget his other name. Sorry. But I'm reading that book. But yeah, I read all kinds of books as well. Yeah. I'm really interested in the comparison of chivalry with samurai. So a lot of the things are very similar between European chivalrous culture and the samurai.
The common sense is a kind of spirit of gentleman, I guess.
Yes.
To respect each other.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I think there's some very important lessons to be learned from old culture. Maybe younger people these days should also research about this.
Maybe you are learning about Japan itself rather than young Japanese people, I guess.
Maybe when the young people get a little older, they might become interested.
I think so. Yes. So, is your future plan of your life?
Good question. So, in the future, I'd maybe like to divide my time between Japan and Europe. So, as we talk,
gorgeous.
Yeah.
One of the most gorgeous life. Spend in Japan and England.
Maybe now I have to work very hard to save money, but eventually maybe I'd like to have a home in England and Italy, where my wife is from, and then also we have a house here, so we can spend time in maybe three countries.
Me and my wife plan to visit Italy or Spain or something around there, but it's crushed by the corona infection, so it just cancelled this May. I think I hope I can visit those countries again in the future. I visited also the German, at the same time the German, Switzerland, and England. They are very beautiful. I think I was very impressed.
Yeah, I really love the architecture of Europe. I think the buildings in Europe are unrivaled anywhere in the world. The architecture is amazing. Especially a place like Italy has very ancient buildings, but very beautiful. So the skill of the craftsmen from thousands of years ago was very, very high.
I was very surprised because Notre Dame is the part of the roof. The bond of the roof is made of wood.
Made of wood, yeah. I think many people were surprised.
I thought that all of the buildings are made of stone or some bricks or something like that. But the top of the Notre Dame is made of wood.
Yeah, people were surprised.
Burnt out in several hours.
It was very sad that it was a big fire. So. But I think they're going to renovate and restore to its original condition.
Do you have any interest in Japanese castles or temples you visited there?
I visited lots of castles, and I like Japanese architecture. So we visit shrines or temples or castles. There's a very big contrast, though, to cities in Japan.
Yeah.
So Tokyo, for example. But then you'll find a very beautiful, ornate temple surrounded by big buildings. It's a big contrast of styles.
And the thing, even in Japanese, I'm very impressed or surprised is for example, the big temple, Nara Todaiji or something, is one of the oldest building made of wood.
Right, yeah, I think.
The wood continued to survive thousands of years. That's very surprising.
Is it treated with kaki, persimmon? Maybe they put some special preservative on the wood to stop it rotting, I think.
Oh, this is the first time. Yeah. You know better than me.
Actually, my wife told me that. I heard they treat the wood with persimmon, kaki.
Okay. So, at the end of the interview, would your family join us and please send the message to your friends
Savannah, you want to come here?
Italy or England?
This is my daughter, Savannah.
Freely to the people,
And this is
relatives, grandfather, grandmother.
this is my wife, Sylvia.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone in England. And at the moment it's a very difficult time, but please stay safe and hopefully everything will get better soon.
Yes, Merry Christmas to everybody.
How about you?
Do you want to say Merry Christmas? No, you're too shy.
That's good.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.